Now, the Congress's electoral future has been declining since the Lok Sabha 2014 polls. The Congress has failed to tackle the rise of the BJP and has been fast losing relevance in the Indian political scenario as the national party. And inevitably, voices of dissent against Congress top brass are being raised yet again. And now we had the India Today exclusive, Rajdeep Sardesai, in this conversation with Congress leader Sandeep Dikshit.
Joining me at this moment is Sandeep Dikshit of the Congress. It's two-time MP, former MP joins me. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Dikshit. I'm just looking at what you have been saying in the last couple of days. It appears that you are among the few who admits that the party is in a serious crisis. Would I be right in saying that you believe that there is a serious crisis that faces the Congress today?
Yes, I do. I think it's very serious. Perhaps, obviously, it's very clear it's the most serious crisis in its existence, especially post-independence. And I would say that it's also a time where, much of our future is going to be decided by what we do now and in the coming months and in the coming years. Very often parties go through crisis periods, but they don't define, in a sense, what you're going to be 15, 20 years from now. So I think our problem today is far more serious.
You are in ICU. Would I be right when I say the party is in ICU? You saw that map. You are being reduced to a few states.
Well, I don't think, you can use the word ICU. Maybe you can even use a stronger word, but yes.
A stronger word than ICU. You believe your party now needs surgery? Desperately needing, it's in an emergency state because you have said that
let me just make 2 points.
Yes.
I think more than surgery, we need two things.
Yes.
We need a soul and we need a life. We need somebody to put life into our body and we need somebody to get our soul back. I think that is far more critical than surgery means taking out certain parts and replacing with certain parts. I don't think that will do.
You need a new soul, you need new energy.
Yes. I would
you
say
need
that.
New leadership. If you were Rahul Gandhi, would you consider in any way stepping down or at least considering a new kind of leadership, maybe more empowerment of regional leaders, maybe less dependence on the high command?
I think I won't say if I'm Rahul Gandhi because
Yes.
let's give him space to think what he thinks. I would say that the 3 or 4 things very critically we need to do, and I think in all 3 or 4 we've lost very badly. I look at the Congress as an extremely confused party with regard to what is the picture it's giving. You see, when you talk to somebody about either Narendra Modi or the BJP, right, depending on how they look at it, there are 4 or 5 broad things in which they will define that party. I think people find it very difficult to tell what the Congress is all about, and therefore our leadership and our workers have a very big problem. Secondly, we've stopped becoming a party that includes people in our leadership, and I think that's why I've been saying for a long time that we've had this crisis. It's become like a club, and a large number of zamidaris that happen, and because it's become a patronage-based party, I think there are serious problems. The other thing is we are just not interacting and empowering our workers. You see, workers are not somebody who shouts slogans for you. They are the people who take your party and its messaging down to your gully and mohalla. And far more than people with whom you share the spoils of power by making them members and doing things like that. I think it's people who believe in what you are, believe in your leadership, believe in your leaders, and therefore actually become your mouth and your mouthpiece everywhere. In all these 3, the reason why we have lost out is because we still don't know what the hell we stand for. I'm actually very
scared.
scared.
Don't know. The Congress doesn't know what it stands for. Ideologically,
so.
it doesn't know what it stands for any longer.
I'm saying that, see, there is a core of the Congress, but I think we've got very confused with what we stand for. You are
saying a very big point. You're saying the Congress doesn't know what it wants to stand for. You also use the word zamindari.
Yes.
That there is a cozy club and the party has got disconnected from the workers by becoming a zamindari of a few leaders. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I'm saying that, knowing very well that this is going to cost me a lot, but I want to say this because for me, my love for the Congress is far more than perhaps whatever little ambition I may have in politics.
Many will say that you are, after all, one of those zamindars. You are the son of Sheila Dikshit, and one of the charges against the Congress is that they are a party today which is a closed shop. A few families run the party. You have to be the son and daughter of a powerful person to run the Congress. It starts from the top and it's going down. So you could well be accused of being a zamindar yourself.
Rajdeep, I completely agree with this. In fact, I won't give the full details, but almost 6 to 8 months ago, I actually wrote a letter to Mrs. Gandhi saying that it is the kind of people like me who, in their lust for power, went for elections, took distinct advantage of their positions in the Congress and got into electoral politics. I think you first, therefore I as a person want to withdraw from those privileges from the Congress and want to work for other things in the party. I didn't want to disclose this letter which I sent to Mrs. Dikshit, but because this part might come to me, I started 8-9 months ago in my interaction with Mrs. Gandhi by saying that this kind of a feudal patronage circuit has to break. And in fact, I very clearly told her that I am in that sense excluding myself and withdrawing from the privileges I had in the party. I'm very clear about that, because if you don't set an example, right, you are actually being unfair to your
You're
party.
sounding like someone who's ready to leave the party if necessary.
No,
or
no,
because
I'm not leaving
remember,
the party.
you are a party where today, when you have used the word zamindari, there will be people watching there who will say this is a flag of rebellion.
No, I'm not leaving the party. I will never leave the party. I will fight for the party and its ideology as much and as long as my capacity gives me. And nobody can take the Congress out of me. Please remember that. Just because I believe that maybe there are other roles I'll be able to do better, maybe people like me withdrawing from powerful positions will open up spaces for many, many others to come. It does not mean that in any sense I will dedicate any less time to seeing that the Congress's core ideology and vision ultimately succeeds in this country. I'm very clear about that.
You know, but you said ideological confusion, and the Congress doesn't know what it stands for. So what is it supposed to stand for? And surely you are ducking the key question, that agenda has to be set by the leadership.
Okay.
If a company keeps making, private limited company as some call it now, keeps making quarterly losses, keeps losing election after election, is the leadership not held accountable? A Raj Babbar today is reportedly ready to resign. A Sanjay Nirupam ready to resign after the Bombay municipal elections. What about Rahul Gandhi himself? I don't say that he alone is responsible for the state of the Congress, but where is Rahul Gandhi providing that ideological direction at the moment that will sustain your party?
Rajdeep, two questions you asked. I'll answer the first one quickly and then go to the second, which I think is really the crux of what you're asking.
Yes.
First one being very clearly, you know, we are a social democracy, left of center party. I think we've lost a lot of those moorings. You know, just because we've done some compromises in the past and made certain mistakes, we are apologetic about the words like secularism. So I think we need to expand that, relook at how we can be pluralistic and inclusive. And the last part, you know, we were a party out of a movement. So, you know, we've kind of become a party that brings people in through a patronage circuit. I think that needs to change. There are thousands of officials in this country, there are thousands of fault lines, there are thousands of places where people feel pain, people feel the need of a political formulation and a movement, and we've kind of lost out there and we need to go back. As far as your question on the leadership is concerned, I would say that I think the entire top leadership must sit down and actually openly think of what their roles are. And I think if people believe, because I'm not going to again put it on one individual, you see, it's very easy to put it on any one individual, and most of these people at the top have contributed in some way to the other to our party. Some are necessary to keep it together, which is very clear. We all know that Mr. Gandhi is required to keep the party together. But fact is, I think many those at the top are not being best used in the roles that they are. In some senses, there may be areas in which other people could do better. So I think the top 8 or 10 people must sit down with a larger group of people in the Congress, not the AICC, not the PCCs, because they are not elected through a clear format, but people who have worked for the Congress, and I think each one must start rethinking their role.
I'm going to ask you a very, very serious question. These are all issues that are raised after every election debacle.
Yes.
Words like introspection, review. And yet at the end of the day, all the general secretaries after the 2014 debacle are still in place. No major AICC has been held to actually go through what can be done to revive the Congress. It seems like a patient which is in a state of coma. So I'm asking you, do you really believe that anyone is willing to shake up the system? Is there fear today in the Congress that if you speak out or you try to shake out the system, you will lose your position? What is preventing the Congress? Everyone knows the patient is in ICU, is in a serious crisis. Why is nothing being done is my final question to you.
You've got your answer in your own question. And actually, you know, what is really pains me is that we don't introspect, very, very frankly, Rajdeep. After the 2014 election, I think there was a committee by Mr. Antony which perhaps gave a report. So there may have been some understanding or reading of that. But it is really a sad commentary on us that I don't think we have ever analyzed why we won and why we lost. I think because you learn both when you win and you learn both when you lose. And I don't think that kind of introspection happens. Unfortunately, we hinge it on individuals. For example, right now, and very greatly so, I must give him credit, we are almost focusing on the fact that Captain Amrinder Singh won us Punjab. Fair enough, I'm sure he has 80% of the credit. But maybe there are other factors which will make us learn how to replicate it across into other states. For example, why we lost UP? Okay, there may be a big mess up which we did, perhaps why we didn't carry on our yatra, maybe we did a wrong alliance. But fact is, once you do it out into the open, at least in 2017 when then, or next UP election comes through, much of this we would not repeat. And when you make your, admit your mistakes and make them open, you actually don't repeat them. The other part is, I'm actually feeling bad that there's a huge number of outstanding leaders in the Congress, right? At this time, what is it that they are looking for? If they're only looking for posts and patronage in the Congress, I would humbly submit to them and say, save the Congress. You will get everything you want if Congress succeeds. You will get your posts. If Congress is not there anymore post 2019 or whenever it is, what does it matter whether you have posts or not?
Will you concede in the end that given the way the BJP is under Mr. Modi and Amit Shah, tough, competitive, some would say ruthless, ready to capture power in Goa, Manipur, that the Congress also needs to get a bit of fire in the belly? Otherwise, as Omar Abdullah says, the 2019 election is done and dusted. You have to look at 2024.
It's a great time to be in the opposition. I think it's a lovely time to be in the opposition. It's a time when it gets your heckles up. It's great to confront an enemy who has something to confront. He's a consummate politician. I would say that while he's quite a failure as a prime minister, that's my personal assessment, I think he's quite successful as a politician. And therefore, I think it's a great time to be in the opposition.
But you agree that you have no leader at the moment who can match his appeal as of today?
Yes, as of today, no. It is in the way in which we are doing our politics, we won't be able to match him. You can change any amount of leaders. The Congress needs to rethink itself. The Congress needs to become a party that includes people. See, there are Rajdeep, thousands of workers, people today in India, in our various villages, in our mohallas, in our cities, who have leadership potential. Outstanding people. I think they need to come and take over the party that is ready for them. Once we open up our gates for them, once we get back to our ideology, I think we can be a fighting unit. And let me tell you, people may think 2019 is a foregone conclusion. I don't think so. The way we are, it's a foregone conclusion. We change, it is not a foregone conclusion.
So if the Congress remains the way it is today, the Congress is heading for disaster. Unless it changes, it will find it very difficult to take on a Narendra Modi. It needs a new soul, a new life, a new energy, and it needs to break the zamindari system, is what Sandeep Dikshit is saying today. This is perhaps the hardest hitting interview that any congressman has given since the party's debacle in Uttar Pradesh. Sandeep Dikshit there speaking out. I appreciate your joining us. We will see whether there is a disciplinary action now taken against you, or whether in the spirit of democracy what you say is listened to by the Congress party.
Rajdeep, I said it with my heart. I've said it with my convictions and belief. And I'm sure somewhere or the other it may make some difference to the party I deeply love and believe.